What's up guys, welcome to my channel. I wanted to make a simple tutorial to get you guys started. For those of you that have no clue how to set a camera on manual, this is for you. I will be teaching you step by step and how I go about on shooting on a sunny day. So for this tutorial, you will need three things. You're going to need a camera that has full manual settings. You can change the aperture, the ISO, and the shutter speed on it. You will need a very sunny day, and you will need a subject. It could be a tree, a flower, a person, a toy, whatever it is. This tutorial is mostly aimed to get you guys ready and started on shooting manual. I will dive a little bit into the explanation of how things work, but not too much. This is mostly to get you guys out the door with your camera and ready to go out and shoot. Because at the end of the day, the only way you're going to learn how to use your camera is by trial and error. Using it and figuring out what is working and what you're doing wrong. To start off, you're going to choose the lowest possible aperture. By this I mean the smaller the number, the more aperture you're getting. And that part is kind of confusing. We'll dive into that later. For now, just try to find the lowest number you can on your aperture. If you're using a kit lens, zoom out and it will allow you to go lower with your aperture. 1.8 would be ideal, 2.8 works, and 3.5, it can also work. The aperture gives you more bokeh, also known as background blur. Alright, the second part for this tutorial, you're going to set your ISO to 100. You always want to shoot at the lowest possible ISO because the higher ISO you choose, the more grain you start to see on your photos. For a sunny day like this, all you need is 100. If your camera goes lower, go lower. All you need is 100. Once you have the ISO and the aperture dialed in, this makes this so much easier because now you just choose the third one. Now the third one is going to be your shutter speed. The shutter speed are like curtains that allows light to come into the sensor and make the photo. The faster they are, the less light that comes in. The slower they are, the more light that comes in. Now if you're shooting at a very slow shutter speed, that's when you start to see motion blur in the images, and we'll dive into this in another video because right now I'm just trying to get you guys out and shooting. So once your ISO and your aperture are set, you just move the shutter speed up until it meets the 0 in the viewfinder. And then the viewfinder is going to look something like this. And what it does is it is measuring the light and telling you where your shutter speed has to go. All three components have to do with this thing. But since we've already chosen the ISO and the aperture, you don't worry about those. Now you set the shutter speed to make it work. In a different scenario, you could change the ISO if you desire to make it work. You can change the aperture if you desire to make it work. They all have to do with this thing meeting in the 0. If it's in the 0, it is a well exposed image. Now there's a couple more things to that, but for now, to not get technical and just get you guys out that door, remember, ISO set at 100, aperture set to your lowest possible setting, and shutter speed has to meet the 0, right in the middle, right there. Once you have all these three components in that one exposure, you will have a well exposed image. Things, like I mentioned, they change if it's during night, if it's inside a house. It all depends how much light there is, what effect you're trying to get, and what you're trying to do with the image. But for this simple tutorial and for the sake of making this easy, just remember ISO 100, lowest possible aperture, and make the shutter speed meet in the middle. Now if you've done this tutorial and are out there shooting, you will see how easy it is to set your camera to the correct exposure during a sunny day especially. Now this, you can go out on your next trip and you're taking a photo of your friend. You know how to set it now to where your friend is in complete focus during a sunny day at this simple formula. ISO 100, lowest possible aperture, get the shutter speed in the middle. That's easy. That's super easy. You can go out and do street photography with this formula during the day. You can go out and take photos of your friends, your pets, of anybody, but guess what? Now you're shooting manual. The more you experiment, the more you learn, and honestly, it's really easy. I've learned everything through YouTube. To make this more interesting, I'm gonna let you guys know that I actually bought a camera from a friend. I went on YouTube and I learned how to shoot manual, and I experimented shooting like action figures or like random things in my house, and I was starting to get the hang of it. I started to take photos of my girlfriend and just different people, you know, and that's how it got me going. I took a photo class, an intro to photo, and I actually already knew how to shoot. Everything they were teaching me, I had already learned online. So, all right guys, remember, ISO 100, lowest possible aperture, get that shutter speed to meet in the middle. I'd love to see you guys' work. Any photos you guys take with this formula, tag me on my Instagram, share it on my Twitter. Can you do that on Twitter? I don't even know. I'm new on Twitter, not gonna lie. Anyways, tag me on Instagram, comment on YouTube. I'd love to see and help you guys out if you guys are having any issues with this. This is my Instagram right here. Same thing goes on Twitter. Feel free to ask anything, and yeah, if you guys like this and found it helpful in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be uploading more videos detailing how aperture, shutter speed, and all that stuff works and how it affects your images. Also how you can make other types of photographies like light trails, motion blur within the images that you actually want. So stick around guys, and thanks for watching. Hope you guys like this video. Peace.